Hello and welcome to this all about Mountain Town guide video. In this video, I will be going over some key information to help you get familiar with the Mountain Town region in the long dark. I'll be going over things like transition zones, base options, wildlife, advice on exploring, and much more. Feel free to check out the timestamps in the description to jump to the information that you're looking for. A very brief background. Mountain Town was the 8th main region released for the Long Dark, first introduced in the Wintermute story mode as it was the setting for the first episode, and released a little bit later in survival mode. Often referred to as Milton, as that is the name of the small town situated in the region, it is considered a beginner region despite having quite a high wolf population. There are many interiors and points of interest to loot here. Map overview. I would describe Mountain Town as quite dense or compact in terms of the layout of the region, but it also has varying levels of terrain. The town of Milton is the main part in the center, with Paradise Meadows Farm to the west and the Orca gas station south of the town. As you head up to the church and further along the road, I'd call this the kind of upper area. There are also two lower areas. The Milton Basin can only be reached via 2 rope climbs or if entering from Forlorn Muskeg. Also, the pathway leading to Mystery Lake requires multiple rope climbs, making it a hard region to travel in and out of with a lot of gear. Overall, it is relatively easy to find your way around, however, as there's always a landmark or something recognizable pretty nearby. Base options. The Milton or Grey Mother's House. The Milton House, or Grey Mother's House as you might know it from the story mode, is centrally located within the region, within the town itself. It provides a 6-burner cooker, a fireplace with 2 cooking slots, as well as beds and storage. The house is raised on a hill and has a small deck around it. You can also look for signs of wolves before you head out from up here. And there are plenty of cars nearby if you need to combat cabin fever as well. A slight downside is that there's no workbench here for crafting items. Both the workbench in the trailer and at the farm are in similar distance away. Paradise Meadows Farm. The farmhouse at the Meadows Farm is a good option too. It also has a 6-burner stove, beds and storage. It also has a barn just outside which contains a workbench and fire barrel where you can craft and keep warm or even combat cabin fever. Vehicles are also an option for that too. You will, however, need to find a key nearby to gain access to the farmhouse, even in survival mode. It can usually be found in one of the vehicles, containers, or potentially on a corpse nearby the house. The Orca gas station. The gas station is a potential option too. Please note, you will need a pry bar to get into the gas station for the first time. Sometimes you may find one nearby. The gas station does provide a bed and a fire barrel in the back, some storage, and while it is a bit messy, as all the interiors are really, with the new base customization you could make this into a great little base using the shelves as storage. There are also vehicles nearby or a small office up at the picnic area to combat cabin fever. Trailer. While pretty small, you might want to set up at the trailer if you want to access an interior workbench. Here you therefore don't need to worry about getting cold while crafting, however you would need to cook outside. I would see this more maybe as a temporary base rather than a long-term base. Transition zones. Transition zones are locations in a main region which will let you move into a different region. Mountain Town is a main region in the game with transitions to 3 different regions. Number 1. To Hushed River Valley through a cave system. This is the only transition in Mountain Town that doesn't require rope climbing. However, as Hushed River Valley only connects back to Mountain Town, it still means you'll need to rope climb out of here to explore the rest of Great Bear further. Number 2. To Mystery Lake via 2 rope climbs and a cave transition. Up near the picnic area, just up from the gas station, there is a rope climb down into a small valley. Then another climb up again, which leads you to the path to the cave system, eventually connecting to Mystery Lake, and you'll come out right by Trapper's Cabin. Number 3. To Forlorn Muskeg, down in the Milton Basin. This requires going down 2 rope climbs or up if you're coming in from there, crossing the basin, and then it's a walking transition into Forlorn Muskeg, where you will end up at the Birch Forest Plateau in Forlorn Muskeg. Prepper Cache. There is a prepper cache located in Mountain Town. To get to it is a kind of one-way system, excluding if anyone decided to try goat. I've tried it, but I can't manage it, but it's up to you. I'll show you the route to the prepper cache starting off at the Milton or Grandmother's house for reference. Just be warned, there are wolves and a bear roaming along this route. It also requires a small cave transition. As always, prepper caches can be either abandoned or full. This will depend on your individual game for which are which. Follow along for the route. So starting off at the Grandmother's house, we're gonna head down to the road and then turn to our right towards the bridge over there, just following the road. At this point here, you can continue to literally just follow the road past the church and up and round. However, I'm gonna go take a little shortcut up this way. So here you'll see this large fallen tree. And on your right side, a bit up the hill, you should pass a cave. Then continue on. As you can see here, we've kind of reached the road again. So like I said, it is just a little bit of a shortcut. You can also just follow the road. And along here, we're going to continue to follow the road. So just past the bridge, there's going to be the bear cave on your left-hand side. The bear can be roaming over the bridge and along the road down there, as well as up here, continuing on the path that goes to the cave transition. So yeah, please be aware and watch out for the bear. Once out of the cave transition, which is pretty straightforward, just a little bit more down this path and you will come to the bunker on your right-hand side. To get back to the town, you can go head down this way. This is the part where you can attempt to goat up here for a bit of a shorter route to the prepper cache. However, I have been unsuccessful in doing so, so I'm not sure if it's possible. Head over to the right there to go back to the town. Facilities. When it comes to facilities in Mountain Town, there are 2 locations where you can find a workbench for crafting. One being in the barn outside at Paradise Meadows farmhouse, and the other being inside the trailer just off the road a bit further up from the church. Both the Milton, or Grandmother's, house and farmhouse Paradise Meadows have a 6-burner stoves for cooking. There is also a potbelly stove with 1 cooking slot available in the little office near the picnic area, and a 2-burner stove at Hermit's cabin down in the basin. Additionally, you can find a fire barrel with 2 cooking slots outside the trailer with the workbench and inside the Orca gas station, as well as at the barn near the workbench outside. Loot. Mountain Town is quite abundant in loot. There is a lot to find. As always, this will differ depending on the difficulty you are playing. When it comes to weapons, firstly, there are quite a few potential locations to find a revolver, such as in the Grey Mother's house, at Paradise Meadows farmhouse, in the church, in the office near the picnic area, or in one of the caves, or maybe found near a corpse. The rifle, however, is not as common to find in Mountain Town, but one possible location is on or nearby a corpse down in the basin. As well, there is potentially a bow to be found also near a corpse in the basin. Tools such as the hatchet and hunting knife, which are most commonly found here, there's quite a few locations these can be found, for example, in the picnic area, near the crashed prison bus, in one of the caves, or in the Milton houses. Maybe in the church or nearby the trailer with the workbench. An insulation flask may be found around the crash plane or down below it. Again, overall, there are many points of interest to check out in Mountain Town for various loot. Of course, you'll also find various things like clothing, medical supplies, food, etc. If the prepper cache is one of the full ones, this will provide even more loot. Natural resources. In Mountain Town, you will find all of the following: rose hips, reishi mushrooms, old beard lichen, cattails, birch and maple saplings, birch bark, burdock, and acorns. Wildlife. As mentioned, while it is considered a beginner region, there are quite a lot of wolves. You will find all wildlife apart from timber wolves, so rabbits, ptarmigan, deer, wolves, a bear, a moose, and the cougar. Let's go over the spawn locations for the moose, bear, and wolves. I'll go over the cougar in the DLC section. Moose. Number 1. Near the picnic area just up from the Orca gas station. And number 2. On the hill just behind the Grey Mother's house. Bear. There is one bear in Mountain Town. The cave is located across the Spruce Falls Bridge. The bear roams across the bridge and further down the road, back towards the trailer and transition cave area. This bear is right in your path if you're heading to the prepper cache, so be warned. Wolves. As mentioned, there is a rather high concentration of wolves in Mountain Town. You will find them pretty much all over, so just be aware. They can spawn in the town, near the farmhouse, around Orca gas station, along the road from the town, past the church and towards the bridge. Don't forget down in the basin too. Vista points and Polaroids. Vista points are locations in a region where if you survey the area with charcoal, it will reveal a greater area of the map compared to when you normally survey. You first need to find the relevant Polaroid. Go to the location of the Vista and survey the map. This won't work unless you have the Polaroid. Mountain Town has one Vista point, located at the radio tower overlooking Milton Town. There are multiple possible locations to find the Polaroid. Number 1, in the basin area at the Rocky Refuge point of interest near a backpack. Number 2, on the small hill at Paradise Meadows Farms in a backpack not far from the farmhouse itself. Number 3, in a car across Spruce Bridge Falls Bridge, right outside the bear cave. Number 4, in the lower area underneath the plane crash, in a briefcase. You might be familiar with this area from story mode. Memento caches. Mementos are a collectible which you can find throughout Great Bear. They lead you to either a hidden cache with some loot, or they hint at a landmark or transition zone. The way it works is you first need to find a note which correlates to a certain cache. You won't be able to access these caches without having found the note first. Sometimes they come with a key as well. Cache 1. A note and key can be found in the office near the picnic area, just up from Orca gas station. This leads you to a cache found on the far side of the bridge, hidden a bit below it near a rock. It usually contains a flashlight, fire striker, and spray paint. Just note this isn't available on Interloper. Cache 2. A note found inside a car next to the credit union building in Milton Town. This will lead you to the church, where you'll have to search inside the organ to find the stash. Normally contains matches, painkillers, and energy drink. Hint 1. In one of the cars on Spruce Falls Bridge, under the visor, you will find a note that hints to the rope climb that takes you down into the basin area of Mountain Town. DLC content. I just wanted to go over some things that may be relevant if you have the Tales from the Far Territory DLC. First of all, the Cougar. The Cougar does appear in Mountain Town. The first territory it occupies is between Paradise Meadows Farm and the church. If you kill this one, it will expand to the area between the church and the trailer, where the workbench is located. Lastly, if you kill this one, the final territory it will expand to is right outside the Orca gas station, which is not ideal really. Transmitter Tower. For the Signal Void part of the Tales quests, you will need to fix up 3 transmitter towers in order to be able to gain access to the corresponding bunkers. One of the towers that needs fixing up is located in Mountain Town, next to the radio tower just up from the town itself. You will need the following materials in order to activate the tower. 1 battery, 2 wires, 3 fuses, and 5 scrap metal. Fixing up this tower will allow you to find and reveal the bunker, during Aurora of course, located in Hushed River Valley, which can be reached through the transition cave a bit further up from the trailer. Check out my video, Finding the Gamma Bunker, if you want more information on this specifically. I will link it in the description. Trader's Radio. There is a Trader's Radio located in Mountain Town, inside the post office building in the Milton Town area. Lily's Pancakes recipe. With the Frontier Comforts update came special recipes. Lily's Pancakes can be found inside the Milton or Grey Mother's house, either in the kitchen, in the living room behind a photo, or upstairs in the storage room. Routes of exploration. Generally, Mountain Town is quite easy to explore in the sense that there are many points of interest for reference, a road to follow, or pretty clear pathways. It doesn't have much large open space to get disoriented, apart from maybe in the basin if it's foggy. It is quite multi-terrain, and probably most important to understand and remember about Mountain Town is that apart from going to Hush River Valley, the other transitions require rope climbing, which of course limits your carrying capacity, as you can't climb while encumbered. So while you might find a ton of useful loot in Mountain Town, if you want to transport it out of there, it's a bit more of a challenge, or will at least take you a few more trips than usual. There are potentially goating shortcuts, but they may not be guaranteed to work in both directions. For example, maybe you can go down somewhere but not back up, so I wouldn't rely on those. From the Milton Town itself, essentially you can head out in each direction. Up to the church and further along the road, or left out towards Paradise Meadows Farm, which also leads you to the rope climb down into the basin. Down towards Orca gas station and picnic area, right upwards towards the radio tower, which continues onwards along a path and eventually leads you to the plane crash. To get to the prepper cache, you will need to take a specific route. Please refer to the prepper cache section for the route. So I hope I've covered plenty of relevant information to help you get familiar with Mountain Town. You can always ask me questions in the comments. I hope you find it useful, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.